This time, he was not representing the Qian family, but instead was personally helping the patriarch of the Phantom clan. However, he was not doing this for free. He had his eye on a treasure from the Phantom clan. All you need to do is kill that reckless one, and you'll get that treasure. But there are too many signs pointing toward this. That illusory, ruthless one is so miserly, yet this time he's so generous. Qian Xuanzi, who looked around 40 years old, with a fair face and no beard, appeared quite handsome. The white Taoist robe he wore only added to his ethereal appearance. I'm afraid this bold and reckless junior will be more difficult to handle. The terrifying sword chi that came from the direction of the Phantom clan could very likely be connected to this junior. I can't act rashly. I'll need to carefully observe when this junior arrives. If I can act, I'll kill him directly to claim the treasure. If not, it's not worth risking a future calamity just for a treasure. With this decision made, Qian Xuanzi closed his eyes and floated motionlessly in the starry sky. Several days later, a silver light streaked across the starry sky, like a meteor heading straight toward this place. Within the silver light, Wang Lin stood, his expression cold, staring at the distant Qianhuan star, which was flashing with all kinds of dazzling lights. He was coming with killing intent. Anyone who stood in his way would be his enemy. As the silver light swept through the sky, Qian Xuanzi opened his eyes and calmly observed. Wang Lin also saw Qian Xuanzi. His pupils slightly contracted, and a cold gleam flickered in his eyes. Indeed, there's help. Stop. Qian Xuanzi's voice was soft at first, barely a whisper, but then it exploded, as if it turned into countless seals that rapidly expanded like a thunderous roar. Words become the law. Wang Lin's star compass transformed into a silver dragon. Its glow seemed to be dimmed by the booming sound of the thunder. Wang Lin's gaze was cold as he stared at Qian Xuanzi. With his divine sense, he couldn't discern the exact cultivation level of this person. However, after fusing with the Immortal Guard puppet, he could immediately tell that Qian Xuanzi had reached the Yin deficiency stage of the Yin-Yang virtual reality. Though the Immortal Guard puppet also reaches the Yin deficiency realm, it can't compare to a true cultivator. There are some drawbacks. Wang Lin knew the limitations of puppets, but with the specialized divine abilities of the Immortal Guard, the puppet's strength was not weak. You came for the Phantom clan. Qian Xuanzi's gaze was calm as he spoke slowly, his tone slightly arrogant. Wang Lin stood on the star compass, coldly responding, exactly. Such a young age, already learning to carry out extermination of clans? Does your family's elders not interfere? Speak the name of your family's patriarch. Perhaps I know them and can spare you from this calamity. Qian Xuanzi sized up Wang Lin carefully. To Qian Xuanzi, this child seemed unremarkable, his cultivation still weak, not yet at the mid-stage of ascension. As Qian Xuanzi's gaze fell on the shadow beneath Wang Lin's feet, his eyes narrowed. The puppet at the Yin deficiency realm. Although Qian Xuanzi's expression remained unchanged, his heart sucked in a cold breath. Which family is this? To have such a powerful influence, they managed to cultivate a divine ability practitioner of the Yin-Yang virtual reality realm into a puppet for their juniors? This is terrifying. Qian Xuanzi stared intently at the shadow beneath Wang Lin's feet, greed gleaming in his eyes. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold, and he said calmly, Senior, this matter is a personal grudge between me and the Phantom clan. Please do not interfere. Qian Xuanzi's heart was torn. On one hand, he wanted the puppet. On the other, he was wary of the power of Wang Lin's family. Ultimately, his greed outweighed his reason. After all, in his view, the value of a Yin deficiency realm puppet was enormous. Moreover, he was helping the Phantom clan. Even if the Phantom clan's family found out, it could be blamed on them. When the two Phantom families joined forces, even if Wang Lin's family was involved, they would have to carefully consider the situation. Hand over your puppet, and this matter will not concern me. Qian Xuanzi's gaze flickered, his voice slow. Wang Lin's eyes became even colder, and within him, two sword chi of Ling Tianho still remained. Before entering the tidal abyss, he had two sword chi, using one to assist the ancient demon. Later, within the tidal abyss, he obtained two more, totaling 3. The shadow beneath Wang Lin flickered, and the Immortal Guard puppet materialized in front of him. Its eyes glowed with fighting intent as it fixed its gaze on Qian Xuanzi. Kill. Wang Lin muttered under his breath, and the Immortal Guard puppet's eyes flashed brightly. Stepping forward, it tore through the starry sky with its hands, suddenly creating several rifts in the void. Qian Xuanzi's eyes widened, but he did not rise. Instead, he remained seated in a cross-legged position, forming seals with his right hand and murmuring incantations. A surge of runes shot out from his mouth, quickly filling the area. The runes emitted a powerful aura as they rapidly rushed toward the Immortal Guard. The Immortal Guard was crafted by Immortal Emperor Qinglin in imitation of the ancient gods. Most of its power manifested in the strength of its physical body. At that moment, the Immortal Guard formed a hand seal with its right hand. A golden light flared in its palm and instantly spread across its entire body. In the blink of an eye, it seemed to transform into a golden statue. Stepping forward, it launched a punch. That punch unleashed a series of sonic booms that echoed through the starry sky, rumbling loudly as countless tiny cracks spread through space. The moment the punch struck forward, numerous runes ahead of it instantly shattered. Thousand Sunflower's eyes gleamed strangely as he burst into laughter. So it's a yin deficiency puppet refined by sacrificing the body. This thing, I must have it. As he spoke, he changed the incantation in his mouth. When he chanted again, the tone became forceful and metallic, like hammer striking steel. In an instant, all the runes lit up with thunderlight. In a flash, they transformed into thousands upon thousands of streaking bolts of lightning. The electric arcs surged like divine thunder descending from the heavens, hurtling directly toward the Immortal Guard puppet. These arcs of lightning were linked, forming a radiant web that seemed to light up the entire starry sky. Amid a thunderous roar, they descended in unison. Standing atop the star compass, Wang Lin's eyes flickered. He slapped his storage pouch, and instantly the divine chariot shot out. In midair, it exploded with a bang and transformed into a thunder beast. With a deafening roar, the beast lunged forward. The moment the roar rang out, the thousands of rune lightning bolts abruptly froze. In Thousand Sunflower's moment of stunned shock, the thunderlight detached from the runes and surged toward the thunder beast, all swallowed in one mighty gulp. The thunder beast's body swelled to more than twice its original size. It gave a satisfied burp, thunderlight flashing intensely in its eyes. This is a thunder beast. Thousand Sunflower leapt to his feet, his expression twisting dramatically as he stared at the creature, inhaling sharply. That's it. That explains the fierce sword Qi, the yin deficiency realm puppet as a bodyguard. Everything points to one thing. You're from the Thunder Immortal Palace. He gasped again, hurriedly retracting all the runes. All desire for the puppet vanished from his heart. My young friend, please forgive me. I was reckless just now. It was all a misunderstanding, a total misunderstanding. Thousand Sunflower turned pale and rushed to explain, no longer displaying the demeanor of a great divine ability cultivator. To think I dared to steal from the Thunder Immortal Palace. What was I thinking? He muttered bitterly. He could afford to offend any cultivation clan within the Luotian star domain, but not the Thunder Immortal Palace. Those three words carried a weight that forbade even the slightest disrespect. With his cultivation and discernment, he normally wouldn't be so convinced that Wang Lin was a member of the Thunder Immortal Palace. But the presence of the Thunder Beast made it undeniable. In the entire Luotian star domain, only the Thunder Immortal Palace possessed Thunder Beasts. It was an immutable truth. A Thunder Beast was the symbol of a Thunder Immortal Palace emissary. Thousand Sunflower had cultivated for 10,000 years and had never heard of anyone outside the Thunder Immortal Palace possessing a Thunder Beast. In his mind, they belonged solely to the palace, an eternal rule. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he stared calmly at Thousand Sunflower. A misunderstanding, is it? Thousand Sunflower gave a bitter smile. Though he still felt aggrieved. After all, with his power, had he not acted first, he wouldn't be speaking like this even if he knew Wang Lin's identity. He had brought this on himself. Especially considering this youth was likely more than just an ordinary member of the Thunder Immortal Palace. Otherwise, why would he be accompanied by a puppet of the yin deficiency realm? After a moment's hesitation, Thousand Sunflower said with a strained smile, "Young friend, I cannot help you deal with the Phantom Clan. We share the same star, and you, as one of the Thunder Immortal Palace, hardly need my help. But rest assured, the Qian clan will not involve itself in this matter. From this moment on, we sever all ties with the Phantom clan. I want Immortal Jade. Wang Lin replied calmly, eyes fixed on him. Thousand Sunflower froze. You people from the Thunder Immortal Palace still need Immortal Jade? Fine, I'll give it to you. He forced a wry smile, thinking to himself, this is the price of greed. You cannot provoke the Thunder Immortal Palace. Each of their members holds a life-saving divine art. Even if I somehow killed him, the entire Luotian Star domain would soon see the Qian clan wiped from existence. He didn't say how much Immortal Jade. He's clearly leaving it to me to decide, damn it. Gritting his teeth, Thousand Sunflower pulled a storage pouch from his robes and, wincing in pain, tossed it to Wang Lin. With a clasped fist, he turned and flew back toward Illusion Star. His face was dark and gloomy. As soon as he entered Illusion Star, his divine sense swept out, instantly engulfing the Phantom clan as a chilling message echoed forth. Phantom Ruthless, you had me provoke a member of the Thunder Immortal Palace. I'll remember this. The day your Phantom clan is destroyed, I will ensure your descendants pay the price. He is not from the Thunder Immortal Palace, but like my adopted daughter, Huan Mei, he comes from the Alliance Star domain. The patriarch of the Phantom clan, Huan Wuqing, frowned and transmitted his divine sense. You're talking nonsense. You were just using your divine sense. Didn't you see the Thunder Beast? The Thunder Beast only exists in the Thunder Immortal realm, and it is the emblem of the Thunder Immortal Palace. Everyone knows this. Qian Sunflower was enraged, thinking to himself, Huan Wuqing, at this moment, you still want to hide this from me. I'll remember this. Putting away the star compass, Wang Lin pierced through the fierce winds of Qianhuan Star, and before him appeared a vast land. He swept his divine sense and immediately locked onto the southern direction. His body moved like a shooting star, rushing like thunder. In the southern part of Qianhuan Star, in the patriarch's residence of the Phantom clan, Huan Wuqing stood with his hands behind his back, gazing at the sky with a gloomy expression. Beside him, the core members of the Phantom clan stood in 2 rows, all silent. However, their expressions revealed a hint of dissatisfaction, though they endured and kept silent. Huan Mei also stood beside the Phantom clan patriarch, her gaze fixed on the sky, lost in thought. As for the other clan members, they were arranged in the surrounding buildings. Not all had returned, and some hadn't been able to make it back in time. Huan Mei, I ask you again, are you sure this person, like you, comes from the Alliance Star domain? The patriarch of the Phantom clan looked up at the sky and asked in a deep voice. Huan Mei nodded lightly without speaking. How could someone from the Alliance Star domain have a Thunder Beast? Even Huan Wuqing found this matter hard to comprehend. What he didn't know was that the creator of the Divine Chariot had many connections, and, in order to forge the beast's soul inside the Divine Chariot, he had traveled to the Thunder Immortal realm. By unknown means, he managed to obtain several Thunder Beasts from the Thunder Immortal Lord himself. At this moment, under Huan Wuqing's gaze, the distant thunder rumbled as a meteor streaked across the sky, and it was none other than Wang Lin. Beside him, the Thunder Beast followed, snorting and crackling with electrical energy. Its fierce eyes locked onto the people of the Phantom clan below. As the starlight faded, Wang Lin stepped forward, and beneath him was the grand formation of the Phantom clan's ancestral residence. The Phantom clan's ancestral residence was enormous, resembling a city from a distance, its entire body black, as if it were an ancient ferocious beast's lair. Hand over Huan Mei. Wang Lin's voice was cold, and his gaze, filled with icy intent, fixed on Huan Mei, who stood by the patriarch. Huan Mei's eyes revealed a complex expression. She turned her head, seemingly unwilling to meet Wang Lin's gaze. You're overestimating yourself. A sharp gleam flashed in Huan Wuqing's eyes as he coldly said, Junior, this is my Phantom clan's grand formation. If you break it, then we'll talk. Wang Lin's expression remained cold. He slapped the head of the Thunder Beast, which immediately howled to the sky. Its roar was like thunder, shaking the entire world into a thunderous realm. The sky instantly turned cold, and dense dark clouds gathered. With the Thunder Beast's fierce roar, lightning crackled through the clouds, making a loud popping sound. The Thunder Beast stamped its hooves, and its body was bathed in flashing lightning. Suddenly, as its roar grew louder, the thunder in the sky intensified. Lightning bolts roared down, striking the grand formation of the Phantom Clan's ancestral residence. The deafening sounds of thunder echoed through the heavens and earth. The might of the thunder seemed to descend from the 9 heavens, striking the grand formation one after another. The Phantom Clan's grand formation immediately flickered with brilliant light, and wave-like patterns appeared. The lightning struck, seemingly absorbed by the formation, rapidly dissipating. Wang Lin's gaze grew colder. He bit his right fingertip, and with a flick, a drop of fresh blood flew out and landed on the Thunder Beast's forehead. "Seal open." Wang Lin's icy words fell, and the Thunder Beast immediately trembled. At the same time, a surge of thunderous power erupted from its body, forming a thunderstorm. This storm was so large that, in an instant, it drew the clouds in the sky. Lightning bolts roared down, forming a web of electricity around its body. "Break the formation," Wang Lin called out. The Thunder Beast's electrical energy reached its peak. In that moment, within 100 miles, sand and stones began to float, as if an invisible force enveloped the world. Even the people within the formation of the Phantom Clan felt this immense power. Their faces turned pale, and among them were those with great knowledge who immediately recognized the identity of the Thunder Beast, their expressions changing drastically. "Patriarch, this is the Thunder Beast." Before, Qian Sunflower's divine sense had only targeted Huan Wuqing, so the other members of the Phantom Clan had no idea of the Thunder Beast's existence. "Patriarch, the Thunder Beast represents the Thunder Immortal Palace. Think carefully. Patriarch, are you really going to bring disaster to our Phantom Clan over an outsider? This is not right." The suppressed dissatisfaction of the direct descendants erupted with the appearance of the Thunder Beast's storm. This dissatisfaction had been growing since Huan Mei's arrival, had escalated during the blood replacement grand art, and now it exploded. "Shut up." Huan Wuqing's eyes narrowed as he coldly scanned the direct descendants around him. At this moment, a storm formed by the Thunder Beast howled towards them. With a single charge, the Thunder Beast rushed straight towards the grand formation. If the earlier destruction of the formation had only been the sky raining down lightning, causing the array to flicker, now the Thunder Beast's charge seemed to merge all the heavenly lightning into one, transforming it into a single, overwhelming force, crashing forward. The impact was immense. The sky darkened further, the clouds thickened, and the earth shook as if sand and stones were being swept away. In that instant, it seemed as though the only thing left in the world was the roaring Thunder Beast, transformed into a thunderstorm. The Thunder Beast's roar echoed through the heavens and earth, a sound so thunderous that it seemed to shake the very foundations of existence. In the chaos, it suddenly collided with the grand formation. A violent boom rang throughout the entire illusion star, followed by a deafening explosion. Boom! The Thunder Beast, transformed into a thunderstorm, unleashed countless bolts of lightning that coursed through the Phantom Clan's grand formation, producing a constant series of explosions. The heart of the storm, the Thunder Beast, acted like a sharp spear, its violent impact immediately causing the protective light screen of the formation to cave in. The sound of the thunderous lightning reverberated across the land. Under such immense thunder might, it felt as though the heavens themselves were furious. At that moment, in the Qian clan, Thousand Sunflower's lips curled into a cold smile. The Phantom Clan members under the grand formation looked pale. Except for the Patriarch, the others were slightly flustered by the thunder might. As people from the Luotian star domain in the Thunder Immortal realm, they had an unimaginable reverence and obsession with the power of thunder. At this moment, facing the attack from the Thunder Beast, it wasn't their cultivation that was faltering, but their hearts. The booming sound of the thunderstorm never ceased, continuously unleashing massive amounts of lightning that ravaged the formation. Yet, the Phantom Clan's formation, as formidable as it was, withstood the assault. Despite the relentless blows, it remained intact, showing no signs of breaking. The Phantom Clan Patriarch's expression darkened as he fixed his gaze on Wang Lin outside the formation. In his heart, he thought, "Release the sword chi. Otherwise, breaking this formation will not be so easy. Only by exhausting your sword chi will I take action to kill you." Amidst the continuous bombardment by the Thunder Beast storm, Wang Lin's figure flickered, and as the Immortal Guard puppet manifested, he stepped forward and landed atop the formation, delivering a mighty punch. This punch seemed to replace the very light of the heavens, emitting a blinding golden glow. Even the lightning, at that moment, seemed to dim in comparison. Boom! The Immortal Guard's fist struck the grand formation, and the formation emitted a groaning sound as if it could no longer bear the weight. Under the combined assault of the thunderstorm and the Immortal Guard, ripples spread across it like angry waves, dissipating all its strength. The Immortal Guard withdrew his fist without pause and threw another punch. His figure multiplied into countless versions of himself, each delivering punch after punch in rapid succession, like rain pouring down on the formation. The Thunder Beast continued to roar, its body crackling with lightning, intensifying its attack once more. The deafening booms echoed throughout the land. The Phantom Clan members below the formation wore even darker expressions. Patriarch, a low voice came from the front of the Phantom Clan's direct lineage. The Patriarch of the Phantom Clan, Phantom Fengshen, furrowed his brows. If it were an ordinary clansman, he could ignore it, but this person had a special status. The Patriarch turned and looked at the speaker. It was none other than the clan leader, Phantom Fengshen. Fengshen, are you opposing me as well? Phantom Wuching said with a deep voice. Fengshen dares not oppose, but Patriarch, regardless of whether this person is from the Thunder Immortal Palace, he possesses the Thunder Beast and a puppet in the Yin-Yang Void Realm. Such a person, I wish to ask the Patriarch, should we ally with him, or fight him to the death? Phantom Fengshen's eyes shone brightly, unwavering as he met the Patriarch's gaze. He continued, allying with him could gain us a friend, but fighting him to the death? What do we gain? Is it just to protect this one outsider? Her cultivation was forcibly advanced by the Patriarch to the later stages of peak perfection, but her conceptual realm cannot keep up. Even if she breaks through, she will be stuck in the Yin-Yang Void Realm. I understand the Patriarch's intentions, but for personal gain, the risk may be too great. Lume showed no expression at this, silently gazing ahead, her eyes calm and indifferent. The Patriarch's face darkened, staring at Phantom Fengshen. After a long silence, he said firmly, "This matter is within my control." Phantom Fengshen sighed deeply and cupped his hands in respect, saying, "If the Patriarch insists, Fengshen dares not follow. If this person fails to break the formation, it will be fine. But once the formation is broken, Fengshen will immediately retreat, just in case. My nature seeks stability, not risk." The grand formation of the Phantom Clan flickered with light, ripples like waves spreading across it. Under the constant bombardment of thunder and storm, cracks began to show. The light dimmed as the ripples spread, and the view both inside and outside the formation became blurry, as if separated by water. The roar of the Thunder Beast and the pounding fists of the Immortal Guard puppet reached their peak in that instant. At that moment, a sharp glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He slapped his storage pouch, and in his hand appeared a massive sword. This sword was none other than the Rain Immortal Sword, separated by Zhou Yi and now exclusively belonging to Wang Lin, passed down for countless generations. The sharp blade radiated with a 3-inch long edge, restrained yet imposing, exuding waves of pressure. When held by Wang Lin, it seemed to merge with the very heavens and earth, for Wang Lin was its true master. With calmness in his eyes, Wang Lin raised the sword at a slant. /Luo formula. In the blink of an eye, centuries of cause and effect were wiped away. Within the massive fortune, contained was a soul technique passed down from the previous generation's rain sword soul. This technique wasn't immortal arts, nor Taoist arts, and certainly not divine abilities. It was a sword style, a powerful move inherited from the ancient sword intent. Wang Lin grasped the Rain Immortal Sword, staring at the assaulting Immortal Guards and Thunder Beast as they relentlessly pressured the formation. In that moment, as the formation seemed on the brink of collapse, he lifted the sword. The light in his eyes faded, replaced by the brilliance of the sword. In that instant, his very being merged with the sword. The Immortal Sword rose and fell. This simple fall of the sword, in that fleeting moment, plunged the world into an illusory darkness. Both the Immortal Guard and Thunder Beast seemed to vanish entirely, as if they had never existed. The world was left with only this single, simple motion. This sword felt as though it could split heaven and earth, tearing the world from the chaos, with no sword chi or immortal power unleashed. Yet, this single fall left anyone who witnessed it with a soul-shaking awe. The first to feel it was the patriarch of the Phantom Clan. His eyes widening in disbelief, he whispered, This is the rule." It was as though the very heavens and earth were being torn apart before his eyes. The sound of it echoed wildly in his mind. The dimmed sky truly seemed to be split apart. It wasn't just him. Phantom Function took a sharp breath. A terrifying killing intent exploded from the sword's fall, crushing his vision and burning into his mind. Phantom Function's body stiffened immediately. This is... Phantom Function's mind shook violently, as if a sharp blade had pierced his forehead, blasting through his spiritual consciousness. He instinctively took a few steps back. With his late-stage cultivation, he couldn't comprehend the sword's rules, but he could clearly feel that the sword's fall seemed to contain some kind of heavenly path, yet more terrifyingly, a ruthless force that tore through the very laws of heaven. Thump, thump, thump. Phantom Function could hear his own heartbeat accelerating uncontrollably, as if the world itself were collapsing around him. The direct descendants of the Phantom Clan, who had been watching the sky, suddenly displayed expressions of shock. That simple fall seemed to place them in the midst of it all, as if their bodies too were being torn apart by the sword's momentum, sweat instantly soaking their clothes. With their cultivation, they had no idea why this was happening. Why did a mere fall of the flying sword cause them to feel like this? The formation was blocking it, yet they could still feel it, and the fear of death spread rapidly. Not only them, but Thousand Sunflower, who had been observing with his divine sense from the Thousand Family's secret chamber, also stood up abruptly, his eyes flashing with sharp light. Rules. This sword contains the rules. The second step of cultivation seeks precisely this. The first step is to comprehend the Tao, and the second step is the power of the rules. This child, if not from the Thunder Immortal Palace, how could he perform such a sword move? At the same time, the Su family, where an elderly man with silver hair was also observing the battlefield through divine sense, reacted. He had originally planned to step in to help the Phantom Clan, but at the moment he raised his hand, he lowered it gently. This sword style of his is strong. I'm not afraid, but if this person dares to challenge the Phantom Clan, he must have something up his sleeve. When the sword fell, all sounds in the world vanished. In that instant, the Phantom Clan's formation, without any physical contact or strike, collapsed. Wang Lin sheathed the sword. His face was pale, but the coldness in his eyes deepened as he stared at the now defenseless Phantom Clan below. The effect of the /Luo formula on his body was immense, unrelated to cultivation level. To execute this move, one needed an energy that was tightly integrated with the essence spirit. For those at the peak of cultivation, their energy and essence spirit were inseparable, but the /Luo formula could forcefully separate part of that energy. Cultivators at the peak had a fixed amount of energy, and if too much was lost, their cultivation would regress. Fortunately, Wang Lin's energy, thanks to Zhou Yi's ascension crystal, was greater than that of ordinary peak cultivators. Within the Phantom Clan, there was a deep silence. Phantom Ruthless gaze darkened as he fixed his eyes on Wang Lin, his voice cold. I underestimated you. To possess such a sword style containing the rules at the peak of cultivation. Truly impressive. However, the gap between the first and second steps of cultivation is vast. If you were to use this sword style with the cultivation of the second step, it might have some merit. But right now, it's useless. Today, you will surely die for breaking the Phantom Clan's grand formation. Please, Ancestral Jade. The patriarch of the Phantom Clan shouted fiercely, and immediately, an immense force erupted within the Phantom Clan's ancestral residence. This force radiated peace and tranquility, as if the wind of immortals had swept through, enveloping the entire Phantom Clan. In the distant ancestral hall of the Phantom Clan, a golden jade slip slowly floated up into the air. The peaceful power emanated from this jade slip. At the moment the jade slip appeared, it seemed as if a separate world had been created within the Thousand Illusion Star, causing the Phantom Clan's ancestral residence to become a realm unto itself. The patriarch of the Phantom Clan fixed his gaze on Wang Lin, a faint sneer appearing at the corner of his mouth. He would not act unless absolutely necessary. He was deeply wary of Wang Lin's sword energy. The earlier summoning of Thousand Sunflower was to exhaust his sword energy. The subsequent Phantom Clan formation had the same intent. But he never expected that Thousand Sunflower would retreat without a fight, and his own grand formation was broken not by the sword energy, but by a combination of the Thunder Beast, the puppet, and that single sword strike infused with the power of rules. At this moment, he gritted his teeth and summoned the Phantom Clan's ancestral blessing Jade Slip, which contained the divine methods of their ancestor from the Thunder Immortal realm. It was because of this Jade Slip and another immortal treasure left by their ancestor that the Phantom Clan had attained its current position. Unfortunately, the ancestral treasure disappeared with illusion formless thousands of years ago. If that treasure were here, there would be no need to summon the Jade Slip of Blessings. Illusory Ruthless thought to himself. The Jade Slip exuded a vast power like the spring breeze, radiating a brilliant glow. Suddenly, the Jade Slip seemed to melt, transforming into a humanoid form. Although the face was unclear, the figure emanated an aura of authority. The Phantom Clan's immortal Jade Slip is incredibly powerful. It is said that the clan's immortal ancestor had cultivation comparable to that of a Nirvana stage cultivator. I wonder how the Thunder Immortal Palace's emissary will deal with this. But it's strange. Why did the patriarch of the Phantom Clan summon this Jade Slip instead of his ancestor's treasure? Thousand Sunflower's eyes gleamed, and her divine sense swept the scene. In the Su family, the elder smiled slightly and murmured, "The immortal treasure of the Phantom Clan should have been taken by the clan elders. Their ancestor did leave behind a valuable item, but I never expected that. Because of this treasure, one of the Phantom Clan's cultivators in the second step would lose his life." Inside the Phantom Clan's ancestral residence, Illusion Function stared intently at Wang Lin as the Jade Slip of Blessings appeared. He saw no sign of panic on Wang Lin's face. Just as Illusory Ruthless was about to activate the divine power of the Jade Slip, Illusion Function stepped forward decisively and said in a deep voice, "Ancestor, the Phantom Clan will not participate in this. As the clan leader, I have the right to withdraw the Phantom Clan from this matter. If you wish to protect Huan Mei, that is your personal grudge, but please do not drag the whole Phantom Clan into this." He then turned to Wang Lin, cupped his fists, and said, "Friend, I am the clan leader of the Phantom Clan, Illusion Function. As I just said, this is a personal matter between you and Illusory Ruthless. The Phantom Clan will not get involved. I hope you will distinguish between right and wrong." The patriarch of the Phantom Clan's eyes were icy as he looked at Illusion Function, a sinister smile curling at the corner of his mouth. He scanned the surrounding direct descendants and said darkly, "What about you all?" The direct descendants of the Phantom Clan fell silent for a moment before they all moved to stand beside Illusion Function. The patriarch of the Phantom Clan sneered, coldly surveying everyone, and then slowly said, "A bunch of useless fools." With that, he raised his head, fixed his gaze on Wang Lin, and with a hand gesture, he pointed sharply and commanded, "Jade Slip of Blessings, kill this person." The humanoid figure formed from the Jade Slip stepped forward, each step bringing an immense and incomprehensible celestial power that exploded from the figure. The intensity of this celestial power was so great that it squeezed the spiritual energy of the entire Thousand Illusion Star, causing a series of cracking sounds to echo not just in one place, but throughout the entire star. The Immortal Guard puppet flashed and appeared beside Wang Lin, with the Thunder Beast following suit. Wang Lin gazed at the figure approaching him, his vision momentarily blurring. It seemed as though the figure's facial features became clearer with each step. Beneath the immortal aura, it resembled a true immortal. Celestial power radiated from this figure, bringing with it an overwhelming sense of authority. His gaze made it seem as if everything in the world were nothing more than ants. Around him, faint immortal sounds echoed. "Youngster, besides your sword energy, what other means do you have?" The patriarch of the Phantom Clan sneered. Beside him, Willow Eyebrows lifted her head to look at Wang Lin. Her eyes remained complex. She touched her storage pouch, but then let her hand drop. Wang Lin's eyes remained calm. The reason he dared to come here alone, to step into the Phantom Clan's ancestral residence and fight his way through, was driven by that crazy resolve from the past. It was also his strongest trump card at this moment. The moment Wang Lin thought of the grudge infant from Renegade Immortal, a sharp pain twisted through his heart. Nothing in this world escapes the cycle of cause and effect. The cause from that day leads to this consequence today. The only way to resolve it is to settle this karmic debt, letting dust return to dust and earth return to earth. Only then can a cycle be completed, Wang Lin murmured, slowly closing his eyes. Within his essence spirit, a decisive call echoed. Once this battle ends, I will set you free. A fierce roar erupted wildly from Wang Lin's essence spirit. From the demonic flames, thick black smoke began to rise from the top of Wang Lin's head. This smoke condensed into the shape of a demon, its entire form pitch black, with a single horn on its forehead. After materializing, it let out another terrifying roar. The sound penetrated deeply, like a sharp spear piercing through the heavens and the earth. It was the rogue demon. Wang Lin intended to refine it into his second primordial spirit. Over the course of hundreds of years, he had tried refining it, but all that had resulted was a deeper imprint of control, without true success in refining it. Furthermore, with the control imprint in place, the demon's consciousness had fallen into a deep sleep, significantly weakening its strength. If the demon had fully awakened, controlling it would have been far more difficult. At the moment the rogue demon appeared, for the first time, the patriarch of the Phantom Clan's face turned pale, and he stepped back, staring at the demon's shadow in a daze. After a long time, a bitter expression appeared on his face. So this is his ultimate move. The Phantom Clan's illusion function gasped in realization, relieved by his earlier decision. Behind him, the direct descendants of the Phantom Clan also reacted similarly. Qian family's thousand sunflowers' heart raced. The rogue demon was terrifying. With his cultivation level, the moment he laid eyes on it, he felt a shuddering sense of dread. This is too terrifying. What is this demon? No wonder he's from the Thunder Immortal Palace. His divine abilities are simply too many. Thunder Beast, puppets, sword styles, and now, this demon. He must be someone of great importance in the Thunder Immortal Palace. Or else, how could this be? An elder of the Su family was also moved for the first time, his divine sense showing a hint of excitement as he gazed at the shadow of the rogue demon from afar. Rogue demon. The rogue demon under the ancient demon Beiluo. The rogue demon appeared, laughing wildly as it materialized from Wang Lin's head, and in an instant, it turned into a massive figure in midair. It didn't even spare a glance at the frozen immortal phantom, instead locking its fierce eyes on Wang Lin. Little cultivator, I will honor our agreement and help you in this battle. But if, after it's over, you try to control me with that imprint, I will risk my demon soul and send you to your death. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he replied, Once this battle ends, I will set you free. Good. The rogue demon laughed loudly. Its body swayed and transformed into a thick mist, quickly enveloping Wang Lin. The demonic aura split into 7 paths, each entering Wang Lin's 7 orifices. In an instant, a dense demonic aura poured out of Wang Lin's body. At the same time, he slapped his storage pouch, and the demon armor flew out, wrapping around his body, forming a menacing full-body armor. During this process, Wang Lin's face showed signs of pain, but his gaze grew even colder, with black smoke swirling within his eyes. This was the reason Wang Lin had come here alone. It was impossible for him to kill Lu Mei, who was protected by the patriarch of the Phantom Clan. Even with the Immortal Guard puppet, he had no chance. The Phantom Clan had been around for countless years, and they certainly had their special methods, something Wang Lin was well aware of. Therefore, he gave up on the rogue demon, which could not be fully refined, and instead awakened it, offering it freedom in exchange for one battle. Although the rogue demon was powerful, the imprint on it had been placed by the ancient demon Beiluo, with Beiluo's divine abilities deeply etched into the demon's soul. Even the rogue demon couldn't break this imprint in a short time. Usually, Wang Lin could control it, but its power was limited. However, now, at Wang Lin's summons, it was completely awakened. With its demonic nature, the rogue demon wouldn't normally communicate with Wang Lin, but the imprint inside it was too powerful. Even after awakening, it couldn't escape Wang Lin's essence spirit. Even if it did leave, its roots would still remain within Wang Lin's essence spirit. Thus, it agreed to the deal for freedom. The rogue demon had considered taking over Wang Lin's body after awakening, but with the imprint in place, this plan was useless. Wang Lin gave it a chance, promising freedom after this battle. However, the seal could only be removed if Wang Lin's cultivation reached a certain level. But the rogue demon had other plans. Once free, it believed it could, within a few hundred years, expel the divine abilities of the ancient demon Beiluo and become truly free. The rogue demon merged with Wang Lin's essence spirit, and as Wang Lin's eyes burned with demonic flames, he stepped forward, heading straight for the immortal phantom without using any divine abilities, striking with a single punch. At this moment, Wang Lin's state was one of separation. His body was under the control of the rogue demon, and his entire immortal power rapidly transformed into demonic aura. Furthermore, the rogue demon's demonic soul fused with him, completely turning him into pure, demonic energy. This punch combined the power of the rogue demon and the might of the demon armor, forming a black beam that seemed to transform into a black dragon. With a roar, it shot straight toward the immortal phantom. The immortal phantom's right hand formed a seal, and with a slight forward motion, the overwhelming immortal power around him suddenly gathered and coalesced into a vortex. It howled as it spiraled around the black dragon, and in an instant, both were reduced to nothingness. The immortal phantom withdrew his finger, extending both arms, each holding a seal. In that moment, the entire illusion star trembled. Boundless spiritual energy from the heavens and earth rapidly converged from all directions, transforming into immortal energy in an extraordinary way in the blink of an eye. The concentration of this immortal energy was so intense that it seemed almost tangible. It contracted fiercely within the palm of the immortal phantom, and in the blink of an eye, the entire world's spiritual energy on Illusion Star created a rupture. At this very moment, there was no more spiritual energy left on Illusion Star. All the spiritual energy had been transformed into immortal power, gathering in a milky white mist ball in the palm of the immortal phantom. Seeing this method, Wang Lin's gaze sharpened, but the rogue demon controlling his body sneered coldly, saying, "This immortal transformation art is nothing but a branch technique of the ancient demon clan, a mere side lineage. You dare use it in front of me." Wang Lin's eyes remained calm, but the demonic smoke grew even thicker. Under the rogue demon's control, his right hand pointed toward the sky, and he whispered, "Ancient demon." These two words were spoken in the ancient clan language. In that instant, Wang Lin's right hand turned into a claw, covered in demonic flames. It pierced through his body and formed a massive demonic claw several meters long. With a grab toward the empty sky beneath him, Wang Lin spoke again in the ancient clan language, "Extract the star soul." In that instant, Illusion Star trembled violently. An ancient aura slowly rose from the ground, and with the rogue demon's grasp, the star soul of Illusion Star was forcefully extracted. "With all the spiritual energy of this star, I will take its soul. Let's see who is stronger." The rogue demon cackled, his demonic flames frighteningly intense. Though his body was controlled by the rogue demon, Wang Lin was directly in contact with the situation and gained deep insight. The ancient demon's ability to extract the soul of Illusion Star had enlightened him.